Alright, Paul Wooten here, WRF Customs. Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in. All those who participated in my viewer appreciation contest, I thank you. I'll be contacting you guys individually and getting all those details going. But what I wanted to make this video was about is kind of about who is Paul Wooten and what is WRF Customs. We kind of go through my timeline of collecting. I was born in 1970, so I'm 45 years old. There's collectors out there that are older than me, and there's a whole lot younger, and there's a whole lot of collectors out there that I've been collecting in 1 or 2 years. Here's the thing to do: from collecting everything you can think of, stay focused on what you like. Don't collect things because other people collect it. Don't buy stuff because other people are buying it, because it'll get you in a world of hurt financially and storage wise and everything. So, pretty much most of my life, I've always collected something. Don't remember the early years. I think the first thing I remember collecting was probably around 6 or 7 years old. Started collecting comic books. Loved comic books. Had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of comic books. We had a guy that lived up above us. My dad was in the Air Force, so we lived in a lot of places. So we had a guy that lived above us, older dude. All I remember was he was the comic book man. And from time to time, he would send a little bundle of comic books down to me and my brother. And we would look through them, do whatever with them. But one day, he come downstairs with 4 full-size 50-gallon garbage bags. We was at school. My mom, for some reason, said that the trash bags kind of looked odd. So she asked, she said, "Do you mind me asking what's inside those bags?" And the guy says, "Yeah, just all the comic books that I've done read. I'm heading to the dumpster." She says, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Sir, if you do not mind, if you can just go ahead and tote them garbage bags into my front room when my children get home, they will be." Well, my little brother was already there. He wasn't in school yet. So she had them there, and of course I got them from school. And my mom says, "Today's your lucky day." And I was like, "Why?" She says, "I got a bunch of trash for you guys to go through." And so, long story short, me and my brother started digging through, and my mom was digging through. We were sorting them out. And my mama said she counted probably close to, I don't know, 4,000 comic books, probably. So anyway, we had a lot of comic books. Then about that time was the same right around the time when Star Wars came out. So we became Star Wars fans, of course. Had some Hot Wheels. I don't really remember which ones I had. I know I had a handful of Hot Wheels and Matchbox, but it seemed like the comic books and the this Star Wars stuff, we started getting more and more Star Wars. And, I mean, every time something new would come out, a new figure, we would always get them. So, so the end of that, we ended up moving from Oklahoma back to Tennessee with my grandmother for a short period of time. And my dad had gotten papers to head to Germany. And so a lot of our stuff got put in storage. What toys we had. What was weird is a lot of those comic books, for some reason or another, never made it from Oklahoma to Tennessee to the storage. And then we shipped very little of our stuff to Germany. We went to Germany in 1979, so I was 9 years old. So once we got to Germany, we didn't have any toys. Nothing got shipped over to Germany. So my focus went back to Hot Wheels. And we would go into this little place called Toyland there in Germany. On the base, they had Foodland, Toyland, whatever. So we'd always go in there, and they always had that really cool display of Hot Wheels in Matchbox. And Mom and Dad would always give us $5 a week to for doing stuff around the house or whatever to go. Since we didn't have we didn't have any toys, so they allowed us to buy Hot Wheels. So that's when I started buying a whole lot of Hot Wheels. And then the Kenner stuff was over there, and I was buying the Kenner stuff, the fast ones. Started buying those Hot Wheels Matchbox and the Kenner stuff. So through all those years, we pretty much played with Hot Wheels, played outside, had cool BMX bikes, did a lot of stunts, did that kind of stuff, was in the BMX racing, got into BMX racing and Boy Scouts and doing all that, racing downhill Pinewood derbies and hunting and fishing and all those fun things. So fast forward to 1982 when we moved back to the United States. We was in Michigan stationed. And of course, I was already gung-ho Hot Wheels. I was 12 years old, still loved Hot Wheels. So then Dad bought a four-wheel drive van, which was awesome. We had a Blazer, a Blazer before that, and then that big four-wheel drive van. I've told about that van where I was my favorite vehicle, but so of course collected Hot Wheels, bought Hot Wheels like crazy, had all the cases and the sets and the tracks, and had all those little showcase cases that you could hang on the wall, and pretty much had all those cars. Once I was done playing with my showroom cars, what I called them, I'd put all those back in those cases, and then my beaters, or the ones that I'd mess around with, always stayed in the photo, to get the little blue trays and stuff in there. I probably had 15 of those plumb full of stuff, and then I had a bucket that I kept the more beated up cars in. And then the Stompers come around. If y'all remember Stompers, played with the Stompers, collected all those, loved them. Blew a lot of them up with putting too big of batteries in them and stuff. And we had all my new friends and stuff. They was all big time Hot Wheel fans and stuff. So we'd always play out in the dirt with our cars, and I always leave my nice ones in the house for indoors only, and then I had my outdoor stuff. So we'd mark the bottoms of them because we would have 10 people come over, and we had these tracks, they had these areas of dirt where we would build our cities and make mud bogs and all that crazy stuff. But so we'd have, of course, we had friends come over and play, and we had to keep our Hot Wheels marked. I always marked mine with they didn't have Sharpies back then, but they had a Mark It or a Mark All permanent marker. My dad would get them from his office on the base. We'd use them to mark. Everybody used a different color so we could keep up with who had what. But by that time, I probably had 1,000 cars, probably I don't know, 100, 200 of them were all Black Walls originals, some red lines, but you know, didn't really care about collector numbers or anything like that. Didn't keep them in the package. You couldn't afford to keep them in the package. Why would you, military kid, keep cars in a package, and when you can only get so much, you know, you can only afford so much. So when you did get toys, you definitely opened them up, but you took care of them. That's why a lot of my Black Walls are in really, really good shape. So that gets us up into the higher, well, I'm trying to remember what year it was, probably 85. I started collecting football, baseball, hockey cards along with my Hot Wheels. Collected all that, kept on buying Hot Wheels all the way into my upper teens, believe it or not. I had, in 1989, that's when my dad retired. And believe it or not, we had a basement, a full-size basement, probably 1,200 square foot basement. And even my friends at 16 and 17 years old, we're driving cars. We're driving, okay? But we still have this passion for Hot Wheels. And you really didn't have much driving in this little town we lived in. You pretty much could drive. You drove around, wasted gas and no money. Um, Everything was so far away. We would hunt, fish, and trap, and all that kind of stuff. But then we had all this downtime, so pretty much we was all still Hot Wheel fans. So I got a big old cardboard boxes, and I put them in the floor of my basement. And all my buddies would come over, and everybody would get a corner or a section of the cardboard box that was laid out flat. And everybody got a marker, and everybody pretty much created their own little cities. So I mean, for months on end, um, we would never clean up our Hot Wheels. They'd always be in the basement, parked in our car lots or all of our junkyards or tractor pull area because we use our stompers and stuff for tractor pulls. But I mean, up till I'm gonna tell you, till I was 17, 18 years old, I still was in the floor playing with Hot Wheels with my buddies. I mean, went to school. You know, nowadays kids get teased for playing with toys past kindergarten. We was in school and was like, "Hey man, we on for Hot Wheels tonight." Everybody was looking at, what do you mean y'all were playing Hot Wheels? I said, hell yeah, we played Hot Wheels. Back then, you didn't have cameras, so you couldn't tell nobody. So some of the other kids that were on the airbase would say, man, we don't believe you guys, grown, basically teenagers, y'all still playing Hot Wheels. I said, hell yeah, man, grab your box of Hot Wheels. They said, we know you got some. Well, yeah, I do. But I'm into football and girls now. I said, well, so are we, but who cares, So they'd come over and we'd give him a little old island. We'd give him a small cardboard box and slide it over to the side and make a bridge. They had to cross the bridge to get over into our little city. But, to say that I've dealt with Hot Wheels all my life, I have. I've always had Hot Wheels and diecast of some sort. In the early 80's, my parents split. So when my brother went with my mom and I went with my dad, my brother took all the video games, the Atari video games, all the freaking G.I. Joe stuff we had, all the freaking uh, Star Wars stuff. He took all that. I kept all the Hot Wheels, all the Matchbox, all that stuff. I kept all that. And every time I moved, even my cases of cars, I always kept those with me. No matter where I went, I always kept them somewhere close. So anyway, so 1989, my dad retires. I moved to Tennessee, and one of the first things my dad sees me take out of my bedroom, is I was going to go for my senior year. Um, he saw me take my Hot Wheels. He said, "What are you taking your toys for?" I said, "Dad, there is no way in the hell that I'm leaving my friggin' Hot Wheels behind. There's no way," because I knew what was going to happen. Dad came afterwards. I had to go back and live with my grandmother for the rest of that summer. I poured concrete with my uncles and what have you. And I knew he wasn't going to bring everything back when he came because he was getting a divorce with his current wife that he was in. And I knew if I didn't grab it now, it would never come home because he was just going to bring a small U-Haul truck. So luckily I did because all my BMX bikes, all my parts for my BMX bikes, mag wheels, all my handlebars. I actually built bikes and I actually worked on friends' bikes. That was another little hobby I had. I actually built bikes for the BX. Um, Especially around Christmas, that was my job. As I went up there and I built bikes and 10 speed, all the different kinds of bikes. I'd put them together for Christmas, and I'd get like $3 for a 10 speed, and then whatever. And they either went in gas or I went over to the BX areas where they had the Hot Wheels, and I'd buy a few Hot Wheels. But anyway, so we get back to I get back to Tennessee, and of course it was working hard in construction, different world. I had to grow up and, into the real world, started working. Kind of left the Hot Wheels and stuff alone for a while. But we're at like at 15 minutes, and I gotta go to the next chapter. I don't want to get too long on these videos, you guys. But hope you guys are enjoying this so far. If not, let me know that too, and I won't do the next one. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let this one roll at 1507, and we'll leave it off at in about 1990 at graduation. Thank you.